iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It is Waiver Wire Wednesday. So I know what you're doing in high stakes leagues. I know what you're doing in most leagues. You are doing your waiver wire bids and you're getting them ready. It's major because you don't want to overspend, but you want to spend the right amount. You want to make sure you get the guy. Sometimes you need the guy, right? I mean, if you're out of wide receivers right now and you've lost Kevin White, let's say, and John Brown is injured, and Robbie Anderson stinks, and your team is reeling, and Rashad Higgins is there, you're going to need to pay up, right? You're going to need to pay up. So I think what we have to do is just make the right selections, but be smart. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You spend $600 on Rashad Higgins, he better be amazing the rest of the way. Can you say that? I'm not so sure. I think I can only say that about a very few people this week. Very few. Maybe count them on a finger. One finger. Maybe there's one guy I like. Outside of that, I'm not so sure. So let's discuss. Let's begin at quarterback. I think Trevor Siemian, he's not monkeying around anymore. Just always liked that one. He played very well against the Cowboys, but let's not forget, the Cowboys' defense is not very good. They look good against the Giants because the Giants' offensive line is the worst one maybe in football history. Eric Flowers, let's call him Wreck Flowers. I mean, he just wrecks the team. So Siemian looked great, but let's keep that in perspective. I'm not sure he's as great as he looked against the Cowboys. That said, he looked pretty darn good. I'm not going to lie. Will I be in on him? Sure. If I needed a quarterback? Sure. I wouldn't spend the family fortune on him, though. Don't forget, Paxton Lynch is there. Siemian has a few bad games. Week 8, 9, 10. Lynch could be coming in. Be careful. I did like how Jay Cutler looked. I mean, he just never looks happy, but I actually saw him crack a smile this week. Did you see it? It was like a little bit of a smile. I like Jay Cutler this week. I like Jay Cutler in general. He went to the only team that could really benefit from him, and he could benefit from. The guy runs his offense and he knows. Devontae Parker, Jarvis Landry look great, and Jay Ajayi has a running game. Jay Cutler's on a good spot. I have no problem you want to bid on him. Joe Flacco. I'm worried about Joe Flacco. I am. I'm worried about Flacco. Danny Woodhead was such a weapon for Flacco. And now without Woodhead, you've got Buck Allen and you've got Terrence West. But these aren't natural pass catchers. They're more runners than catchers. Maybe Buck Allen, but I'm not thrilled with Buck Allen there. I think Flacco's not going to throw the ball that much this year. I think they're going to run it way more than I want them to. So I'll bid on Flacco, but only a couple bucks at the end of, on my list. Tyrod Taylor, still playing well, but if the Bills keep losing, then he'll be out of the game. But if you need a guy who has rushing yards, he's interesting. I think Deshaun Watson is interesting. Deshaun Watson, can get you 5 to 6 points a week on his legs alone, maybe even a rushing touchdown. So you're looking at 5 points plus, let's say another 9 or 10 passing. He's going to give you 15 points a week. It's not going to be pretty, but it'll be 15 points a week. Deshaun Kaiser is very boomer bust. I think losing Corey Coleman hurt him a lot. So I'm down on him. Blake Bortles is a train wreck. This guy's disgusting. I think he's about 1 week from losing his job. I think Mike Glennon looked pretty good. I know people are talking about Mitch Trubisky, but Mike Glennon has actually played very well. It's just that the Bears receivers can't catch. Week 1, they should have won that game before those guys dropped passes in the end zone. Week 2, Kendall Wright literally had the ball right in his hands and he dropped it. On multiple occasions. So I'm not blaming Mike Glennon. I'm blaming the Bears. And finally, there's Jared Goff. Jared Goff seemed to me when I watched the game that he had a lot of time to throw, but he just couldn't find his receivers downfield. But this is a much improved team. Todd Gurley's running the ball very well. And if Goff could start to raise the play of his game, he could be very sneaky moving forward. I don't hate him. I think he's interesting. I think there's room for Goff. I like him. All right, at running back, if Buck Allen hasn't gone in your league, he needs to go right now. Okay, he's a guy I'm paying up for. He obviously looked really good. There's no Woodhead. It's Buck Allen and Terrence West. Pay up for Buck Allen. Okay? I think the other guy that looks really good is Chris Carson. I think Chris Carson is the guy to pay up for this week. Now, he won't be out there in most leagues, but if he's out there, Eddie Lacy, I don't know what happened to this dude, but it's over for him. Thomas Rawls, they talked about him being the starter, but has he really looked that good? Chris Carson looked good last week, and I think he's the play. I think he's the play here. Would I pony up huge money for him? No, but if I had a $1,000 budget, I might go $300 on him. What if he's a starting running back the rest of the year? I might do it. Him and Buck Allen will be worth the 300s. I don't think I'm in the 300s on anybody else, but I'll hit the 300s on him, on those guys. Alvin Kamara, worth money, for sure. Worth a lot of money. I mean, he is the PPR back in that Saints offense. It ain't Adrian Peterson. I think Adrian Peterson is very disappointed right now. He probably thought he was going to get 20 carries a game, and that's not how Sean Payton rolls. Sean Payton likes to... I mean, he was using Travaris Cadet for years. Did Adrian Peterson not think he was going to use Alvin Kamara? Alvin Kamara is the future of that team. And the future might just be next week. Chris Thompson looked really good. Jay Gruden has discussed about Rob Kelly with a fractured rib. So I think you're looking at P. Ryan and Thompson. And if Chris Thompson... P. Ryan's not available in leagues, I'm sure of that. But Thompson might be. You know, I was thinking about that. When I was in Vegas, I just overlooked Chris Thompson every time. Every time I overlooked him, it was a bad move. He's a good player. And he's productive. And I think this week he gets 15 touches. So I'm in on Chris Thompson and PPR formats this week, for sure. How about Duke Johnson? I doubt he's available in your league, but if he is, I like him. Especially without Corey Coleman. He could be the slot receiver there. It's possible. Shane Vereen. Let's talk about the Giants for a second. And the zombie apocalypse Giants. Paul Perkins is terrible. Terrible. Shane Vereen may be the guy there. And how about Orleans Darkwa? I think the Giants have to see what this guy has. Have to see it. But I don't know if it matters because the offensive line is so bad. So bad. I'm not sure that any of these guys can run. Vereen may be the best bet because he can catch the ball out of the backfield. So he's the guy that I'm looking for the most. But I would take a flyer on Darkwa. $5-10, see what happens. I don't know if he's a special player, but I could use him. He's usable. I think Rex Burkhead is another guy I'm looking at. I know he hasn't been great thus far, but I think Burkhead will get better as the season moves forward and Tom Brady starts to trust him and these guys practice together more. It takes time to get into a rhythm. You don't know somebody else. The more you're with them, the better it gets. You could say that in anything. I remember the first day Tony Sincata and I did radio together. It really wasn't very good. But by the end, we were doing great radio together. It just took time to get used to each other and how each other likes to perform on the radio. Same concept here. Rex Burkhead needs to know what Tom Brady wants. Tom Brady needs to know what Rex Burkhead does well. Be patient with Rex Burkhead. I think he will eventually pay off. I'm officially worried at this point about LeGarrette Blount. I'm officially worried about him. I am. And I think that Wendell Smallwood will have some sort of role there. I just think that Blount doesn't fit this offense. I think this offense is a Sproles and Smallwood offense. That said, I don't think Blount gets cut. If I'm the Eagles, I keep Blount as my goal line back. Now, am I paying him a lot of money to do that? Probably. Could I cut him? Maybe. Will I do that? No. I just think I would run with Sproles and Smallwood and bring in Blount in short yardage, 4th and goal line situations. And he might be able to score for me. The problem is I'm just not sure that LeGarrette Blount's ego can handle that. The guy ran a lot of yards last year. He's still good, just wrong offense for him. Chris Johnson may be available in a bunch of leagues. Kerwin Williams did not look great. I like Kerwin Williams still. I'm not done with him, but Chris Johnson did look better last week. If you need a running back, if you're a David Johnson owner, you might want to pile on there. How about Donta Foreman? Donta Foreman looked pretty good. He had 12 snaps last week. It's pretty good. We're at 12 carries. We're at 12 carries. It's pretty good. So I think Foreman can be about an 8 to 12 carry a game kind of guy. Nothing wrong with that. If Lamar Miller gets hurt, this guy's 20 a game for sure. Lock that one down, 100%. All right, anybody else? I mean, maybe there's DeAndre Washington and Jalen Richard. I mean, maybe there's Matt Breida. I mean, I think you got to start looking at backups to backups. Look at your team, see who the team's backups are. If you have Melvin Gordon and you don't own Brandon Oliver, I think you're in trouble. Right? I think if you have Lev Bell and you don't have James Conner, you should have James Conner right now. So get your backups. Very important. Okay, wide receiver. I think another guy I'm paying up for. I'm going to pay up for 2 more guys. One is going to be J.J. Nelson. If for some reason he's on the waiver wire, pay up. Pay up for him. He looked great last week. Now, I don't know if we're going to see that from him consistently. I can't guarantee that, nor would I want to guarantee that. I would just say that I think you're going to see J.J. Nelson be effective. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald looked MIA. Where in the world is Larry Fitzgerald? I mean, that's how bad it was last week. So Palmer was going to Nelson all over the place. I'm in on Nelson. I'm in on Jerron Brown as well. Lots of targets for him. So let's keep our eyes on Nelson and Brown. Very good ads this week. Marquise Lee was Blake Bortles' number 1 target. Now the problem there was both Lee was probably used in the first half. Allen Hurns, Blake Bortles didn't even go to him till the end of the game. That was a bunch of garbage time there. But Marquise Lee is decent. He is decent. I like him. Props to Mike Dempsey, who said he'd much rather have Marquise Lee in round 12 than Allen Robinson in round 3. Mike was right. Jermaine Kearse, he is the Jets' number 1 receiver there. Robbie Anderson has been an absolute dumpster fire. I bought into Robbie Anderson. I regret it. I like Jermaine Kearse as well. I didn't take him enough leagues in Vegas. Maybe, just maybe, he's still out there. I'm worried about Paul Richardson. He had a broken ring finger. He's a good player, but I think Tyler Lockett is there now. I think I'm off Richardson this week because I think it's Lockett and Baldwin. I do. I think it's Lockett and Baldwin. But let's get to Rashard Higgins. Rashard Higgins. So this is a guy who was called up from the practice squad by the Browns. And all of a sudden, last week, that he seems to get inserted into the lineup, especially after Corey Coleman gets injured. And this is the guy who all of a sudden looks really good. So Kenny Britt channels his inner Dwayne Bowe, MIA, right? Coleman's injured. David Njoku is young, right, and still figuring it out. But all of a sudden, Rashard Higgins could be a breakout guy. Now, there's Ricardo Lewis there. There's Sammy Coates there. There are other guys there, which is, I just don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll look back at this podcast and regret what I'm saying here. I'm not sure about that. But I look at Higgins and I ask myself, can this guy do this for the next 14 weeks? I don't think so, but I got to pay up for it, depending on how desperate I am. I think he should go from anywhere from $30 to $200, depending on your league. You know, 30, you'd be a very lucky guy, and 200, you probably overpaid for him. But he is the most legitimate thing going on right now. So, worth a shot. I might, knowing me, I might put a couple of bucks on Ricardo Lewis, Sammy Coates, you know, not much, $5, $10, just something on them in case I'll let somebody else get Higgins and I'll wait for the other guy to emerge and I'll have paid a lot less for him. See what I'm saying? I'll let Higgins flame out. I'll try to get Sammy Coates for $5. Now, Sammy Coates isn't special week 3, but week 5 he might be starting, and I have Sammy Coates. See where I'm going with that? Danny Amendola, if he's on your waiver wire, I like him. Tyler Lockett, I really like. I think he's the number 2 guy there and not Paul Richardson. Philip Dorsett, I am in on Philip Dorsett. I am. I think this guy, look, he was a number 1, he was a first-round pick. Tom Brady will figure out how to use him. He's got all kinds of speed, and Brady started to use him against the Saints. I think we'll see Philip Dorsett a lot more. Go get yourself some Philip Dorsett. I like him. How about Devin Funchess? He's interesting to me. I like him and I don't like him. I like him because he's a big target and no Greg Olsen, but I hate him because I hate Cam Newton. Cam Newton stinks. So I'll pay for Funchess, but I can't go all in on Funchess. Not like I would on J.J. Nelson because I just don't trust the quarterback situation there. I like Kenny Stills. I like Zay Jones. Zay Jones out-targeted Jordan Matthews 2-1. How about John Ross? Who knows? The Bengals have switched to offensive coordinators. Maybe Ross gets some more play. How about Brandon Coleman for another week or 2 without Willie Snead? May be good for 2 more weeks. Let's invest. How about Marcus Wheaton? Right? Marcus Wheaton, pretty good player. Let's watch him closely. How about Geronimo Allison? Here's a name of a guy I like. Here's a name I like. Geronimo Allison. What if Jordy Nelson is out this week? I think this is an interesting play for a couple of bucks. I like it. Like it a lot. All right, at tight ends, Ben Watson. Randy Watson. Sexual chocolate. Okay, I like Ben Watson there. Joe Flacco always throws to his tight ends. Always throws to his tight ends. Ben Watson, 8 targets, 8 receptions last week. Jared Cook. He's starting to get a lot of targets. People said that he was in the offseason. I didn't believe it, but it's true. He's gotten a lot of targets. So I think he's interesting. How about George Kittle? Zach Miller. How about Dwayne Allen? With all of the injuries that the Patriots had, why not run a 2 tight end offense? How about Allen and Gronk? I can live with that. How about Zach Miller? Garbage time guy. I like him. He's interesting. For the Bears, David Njoku. I mentioned him. Going to be a really good player. I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but it could be sometime soon. I like this guy. I mean, really, this guy could be a franchise tight end. That's how good he is. And here's a name. Let's just file this away. How about Ryan Griffin? Okay, Fedorowicz out. Griffin can catch. You need a tight end. Take a shot on him. He's interesting. Just take a shot on him. What do you have to lose? Right, Fedorowicz is going to be out. Steven Anderson is not special. Ryan Griffin, just throw him for a buck. Maybe, you know why I like Ryan Griffin this week? Because next week he's going to cost you 20, 30 bucks. This week he'll cost you nothing. Right? That's why I like to be a week before the guy. All right. I want you to check out scoutdfs.com. Got my guys, Fuego Steve and SD Chickens there. We're putting up great content. Sean Childs and stuff. The Scout Scores, the NFL Optimizer. You want to win in DFS? Check out scoutdfs.com right now. If you're a Scout member, we'll lock in a lifetime membership for you at a really great deal. All right, so check that out, Scout members. If you're not, it's still a great deal, but just extra great for Scout members. And hey, Scout members, go to scoutfantasy.com. If you're not a member of Scout, actually, go to scoutfantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO2017. We'll give you half off your first month. I'm in there in the message boards. You know, a lot of sites have guys you've never heard of answering your questions. Some sites don't even answer your questions. We have me, Adam Rona, Sean Childs. Every time I go in the message boards, one of the 3 guys, or Mark Morales-Smith, one of the 4 of us are answering your questions. I mean, what more could you want? Seriously, what more could you want? All right, time now to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. I wish you guys a lot of luck with Waiver Wire Wednesday. Remember, it's week 3, okay? Not panic time yet. Pay money in waivers, but don't go crazy. You may need money next week. There's injuries that happen. There are bye weeks that happen. So be smart with your money. Be smart with your money. I know you will. Wishing you all a great day. This is Dr. Roto saying be well and take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!